Okay, so here is the one side that I haven't done yet, and this is what it looks like. That rusted out rocker panel. See, it just totally gone. And I'll go over the other side and have a look. This is the corner of the cab. And here's the one I just finished. Same corner, whatever, rebuilt that corner. We've taken out all of that rust and replaced it. Fixed the bottoms of the doors. So now, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to come back in a few years, but sure looks better than it did. Hopefully it'll keep the work truck going a little longer.
All right, here we are about to, well, just beginning to replace the rocker panels on this F150. Already did the one side. Now I'm going to try and document doing it on the other side. This is a total do-it-yourself process. I don't have any significant expertise in any kind of body work, but if this might help someone else, this is just a working truck, and we have pretty significant rusting out of the rocker panels down here. So you can see that the entire panel is gone in the corner of the cab. Same with down here. And then it's starting to rust on the door, so we're going to clean that up, and we're going to put a new panel in. The first thing I had to do though is they had these, I just bought this truck used, so they had these on the steps, but everything on here is so rusted that you can't get it off. So I've just snapped off these plastic stool steps, and I did this on the other side because I can't get the actual step off because it's so rusted on. And so I just cut the rocker panel around the step, and we'll show you that as it goes along, but then I can clean up the step, kind of put some Rust-Oleum on there and paint it. And it's not going to fix it totally, but it'll hopefully keep it going and at least make it aesthetically look better as we go. Okay, so this is the rocker panel that I bought. They're about, I think it was like 130 bucks each for a panel. And they come from the factory, ready to go on, but I'm not going to use all of this. This was a bit disconcerting for me because I don't know what I'm doing, that I had to cut most of this away because I don't want to take my doors off. I ended up cutting most of this off. But I just want to show you kind of how I did this. So you notice that there's the holes in there which go along, which is going to match up. And what I like to do is when I slide this underneath, I want to match up the holes with the pre-existing holes, which are right here. So when I cut this away, because this is rusted, I mean it's pretty rusted through here, but up on this side it's pretty good up in here. So what I did was, I'm not actually even going to be welding this, I'm going to be screwing it. I talked to a body guy who said, well, if you're going to do it yourself, use self-tapping screws. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then I run my screws right along this bottom edge, and I line up the holes, and then when this goes back in, it actually covers up where my screws are, just so you don't have to see it.
Okay, so I haven't actually worked on this for several weeks, but here I've cut out the old rust panel, and again, this is all going to come back, but for cosmetic value, and my kids not kicking themselves on the rust. This is what I've done. I've cut it all out. And now I'm going to cut. This is the rocker panel. So basically I'm going to cut along this line here because we don't need it, and I'm going to match these holes with these holes right here, because we don't need that excess metal. Alright, now I've cut that out to fit in there. And now what I gotta do is measure, because these steps can't come off, they're so rusted on there. I'm gonna notch out in here so that it slides around those feet, which are, there's 3 of them. So that's the next step. Okay, we've cut it out, and I've just put it in there, and you'll notice that these guys are simply holding it up because we've matched the holes. And when we screw it in, I'm going to screw it behind this, and then you won't see the screws because I'm not welding it. And you can see over here, it's just going to line up along there, and we're going to Bondo it and attach it. So now it's cut to the right size. Okay, so now I'm priming the rocker on the inside. Just the first coat. Sanded it down or scuffed it up. Put some primer on it. I didn't prime the outside because I have to grind that down anyway when we go to put the Bondo on. So, and then priming all underneath there is being done too. And then when this dries, we'll put it on. Alright, so I've screwed this on. These are the screws that I used. I went to a body guy who I talked to about it and told him I can't weld, and so he recommended using these. He said it's not structural, so it doesn't really matter, and we'll just save it for a while. So again, screwed under these guys. So when that goes on, you're not going to see it. And then I just put another one in here, and one further up as far as I can reach. And then going through, and I've grinded off so that I can get the body fill ready to kind of fill that in. Again, you can kind of just see, and then underneath we've using the other screws to screw it up onto the bottom of the frame. Alright, now we put the Bondo on, the body fill, and seal that up, and then we'll sand it down, and then I usually put a second spot on because I'm not very good at it, so I'll fill the holes. Alright, it's on there and it's primed. And sanded it all down, primed it. Also did the doors under here because these doors that get rusted from the rust that was there, so brush them all back and touch them up too. Nice thing about a black truck is that fixing it, when you do it, doesn't show up the imperfections as easily. Okay, so now we've got the rocker in and primed, but the rocker panel only goes to this section, so we're missing the whole corner of this piece. Now you can buy another insert or another panel to go in there, but again, because I'm not really trying to do this for resell, just to patch it up, what I did is I have purchased a mesh patching kit. So I just found this in the patching section. It's a aluminum patch. Looks like this. You pull it out, and what we're going to do is I'm going to first of all just use the back of the package, and we're going to cut a template so that we can cut it. And this is adhesive. It's got a little sticky on there, so it'll stick up in there just to create the rigidity it needs so that we can put Bondo on there and patch that up. So that's the next step. Okay, so here's the wire mesh. This one is not going on as well as the one on the other side. So I put a little Bondo up on the inside edge, and then I had to hold it there for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes till it kind of set, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to shape it into that corner bracket, and then put probably another piece on it to get it to stick there. Okay, so here's the corner. As you can see, it's not perfect, but it works. And built and primed, and sanded, and then covered up. There's some bubbles in it, but I just don't really care to spend any more time on it, so we're going to spray paint it now. Here's the finished product. That corner. Hopefully this has been helpful.